Good morning. In this video I'll be reviewing my new program for muscle growth and love of training by Arms Enthusiast. And first of all, I just got to say that I'm a little bit biased in favor of this program already for a couple of reasons. The first reason is he's a man after my own heart in the sense that he's presenting his video in literally the exact way I'm presenting mine, sitting in front of a camera with a laptop. But also because before I even read it, this is an upper lower split, which I think is a fantastic style split. And also I like the name of the program because it's kind of my philosophy of training. It's like new program for muscle growth, yeah, that's what we're all here for sure. But also love of training because training should bring joy. So good start. Shall we jump into what it actually looks like? So we have day one. So this is not tied to days like of a week. It's just day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, which I think can be good because it means that you can like adjust it to your schedule a bit better. Let's have a look here at the program. So day 1, chest, lats, arms, and abs. Not a bad way to split you up for training. Wide grip pull-ups, 4 times 7 plus. Okay, so this is his. I think plus is his notation for a superset. 4 times 7 plus pause dips 4 times 10. I think this is a fantastic superset. I think the superset works really well. Pull-ups and dips. Often gyms will have the dip station at the pull-up, like where you do your pull-ups as well. So it's a convenient superset. And yeah, I think it's a good superset. I would say, let me just have a look here, that it would be nice to maybe start this day with some sort of compound, like a heavy press or something, especially if he's going to be doing chest. But with that said, I would feel like if you're categorizing your lifts, you know, if you have like your heavy barbell lifts as your true compounds, I feel like your compound adjacent lifts are things like pull-ups and dips, where a lot of people won't call them compounds, but if you do them heavy and hard, they kind of have that same vibe where they train multiple muscles and they put on a lot of mass. So I don't hate this, and I like the superset. One thing I would like to see, and I'm noticing this... Oh no, okay, so he does have some rep ranges. I'd like to see some rep ranges here. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit before in these program reviews. Because if it's 4 sets of 7 of pull-ups, you're going to have to really go super chill on your first set in order to make sure that you get 7 on the last set. So I'd rather it say like 5 to 10, and then you could just start with 10 and then progress down through. And also it would give you a chance to progress over the weeks, you know, because else the problem is... if you do 4 times 7 wide grip pull-ups on day 1, surely 3 weeks later you'd want to be doing 8, unless he wants you to weight them. Perhaps that's the case. Then we go to dumbbell pullovers. Excellent exercise. This is one that I'm starting to try and do myself. I dislocated my shoulder a little while ago, so I need to take it slow, but really, really good exercise. And we now have a nice rep range, well, 8 to 12. Perfect. Then we go to weighted GHD sit-ups, which is good. Any kind of sit-ups I think are a great exercise to begin with, but I think any kind of setup that allows you to go for a bigger range of motion is better, and any kind of setup that allows you to weight it so you can do fewer reps with more intensity is good. So this guy's basically got everything you need. Weighted GHD sit-ups, perfect. And we're supersetting that to lateral raises, which makes sense. You can kind of superset stuff with abs, it doesn't take tons out of you. Rep range 10 to 20. I like that. He hasn't given us sets here, but you just have to assume it's the same amount of sets as the setup, so 3, which is good. And 10 to 20 I think is a great rep range for lateral raises. I think you can go a bit higher, and it gives you a lot of time to progress, because sometimes with these isolation movements, especially if your gym, say for example my gym has 12.5 kg dumbbells, and the next ones are 15s. It's like you have to be quite a lot stronger to do sets with the 15s. So it's nice to have a big rep range to progress through. So say you were doing 12.5, so 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 20, and then you could go back to the 15s for 10. So I think that's great that he's given such a big range there. Then we go to hammer curls, 4 sets of 8 to 12. Good rep range, good kind of combination with a little bit of forearm work and biceps. Yeah, I like the rep range, I like the sets. The one thing I would say with this day, because everything else is supersetted, to make it a bit shorter, I would literally just superset this with the hammer curls or for pullovers, and you'd be out of there in like 40 minutes. And I think you'd be out of it in 40 minutes feeling pretty satisfied, because I think that's a good day. Let's go have a look at day 2, lower. Back, quads, hams, calves, abs. So yeah, basically just a nice lower day. Deficit pendulum row. Yeah, why not? That's not an exercise I've seen too often, but it makes sense to me. Because one of the things that you know, if you might criticize a pendulum row from a hypertrophy perspective, is that you don't get much of a stretch. But of course, from a deficit, then yeah, you will get an extra stretch. And the other thing you might criticize a deficit pendulum or a pendulum row from is you're like, oh well, yeah, it's just recruiting a posterior chain, like you know, you're not getting that much back, or like it's 50-50 upper back versus posterior chain. But of course, because of the way this guy's programmed it, he's fine with that. This is a lower day, so he doesn't mind that you're getting posterior chain. So I really, really like that, actually. That's something that I should, that I'm going to maybe take inspiration from. I like the idea of doing, of doing a pendulum row from a deficit, so you're making sure you're getting a bit of stretch on the back, and you're doing it on your leg day, so you're like, I don't care if it does legs, that's why I'm here. And then he's supersetting that with standing calf raises. Barbell calf raises, that's interesting. I'm assuming he wants you, and to be fair, I haven't watched his video, I'm assuming he lays this out in his video, I'm assuming he wants you to do that on something that allows you to stretch. But yeah, the only issue I have with this, and it's a very small issue, it's just a convenience thing, because your deficit pendulum row is on the bottom of a squat rack, and then you're going to need to get it to the top of a squat rack to pop it on your back for barbell calf raises. Not the end of the world, and you shouldn't take too long, but it's just something to think about. Then we go plat squats, supersetted to Lorats. I wonder if, I don't know what Lorats are, but I'm assuming that's a Devin Lorat inspired forearm exercise. That's my guess. Let me just Google Lorats exercise. Please hold for research. Yeah, okay, so I'm assuming it's Devin Lorat's like pronation exercise. I'm just gonna say in my mind it's a forearm exercise. Let's have a little look. So we have plat squat supersetted to forearms. Yeah, I think this is fantastic. One thing I will say is it's got an extra set on the Lorats, so I'm assuming you start with those and then go into your superset with the plat squats. I think this is great. Plat squats, beautiful quad isolation, great rep range at 12, 3 sets, perfect. And then yeah, why not? You're resting, your quads are cooked up, why not do some forearms in between? So I think that's perfect. Then we go to leg curl or GHD, or GHR. GHR? Glute ham raise, alright, yeah. I like that, but I will say that these are relatively different exercises. The leg curl is a pure hamstring isolation, whereas the GHR is a full, hip extension. And the other thing to note is that the hamstring has two functions, like separate functions. One is hip extension, and one is flexing of the knee, like without hip extension. So I would rather that this not be all. I'd rather he kind of move that around the program a little bit, because they are quite different exercises. But that's pretty small nitpick. The point is he's finishing you off with some nice chill hamstrings. And then supersetting that to sissy squats. Yeah, I like that. I think sissy squats are good at this point. They're a good finisher. You're already tired. Your quads are cooked. Supersetting with quads and hamstrings, I think, is an absolutely classic superset that really works. Especially like proper isolation. Obviously, you don't want to superset like your Romanian deadlifts with your fucking, heavy squats. But like you can superset leg extensions with leg curls, or in this case, sissy squats with leg curls. So I like that. Everything, they say AMRAP, which, to be fair, it's possible that he's just writing this out for someone who's a little bit more advanced. Because I'd say for someone a little newer to the gym, you don't want to give them AMRAP, you want to give them a rep range. Because the problem is, say for example, they select the wrong way for sissy squats, and they end up doing a set of 35, and it is an AMRAP as many as they can, but it's not a very productive set, it's too high. But that's a little bit of a nitpick. I'm assuming he just means like, he's basically just letting you choose your rep range in my mind. Then we go to day 3, upper body again. Neutral grip pause pull-ups times 4. Oh, beautiful. I love that exercise. I do that one myself. I think neutral grip for most people, myself included, is a little more comfy on the shoulders, and it kind of feels like you can grind it a bit harder because you're not, like, your shoulders aren't all the way out here. Pause is beautiful. I think, yeah, you get such an insane stretch, and like, you just feel crazy pumped from pause. And honestly, AMRAP here makes sense. Just do as many as you can. Beautiful, beautiful exercise. Then we're supersetting that with 45-degree inclined bench. So yeah, there's our proper chest compound. Yeah, I love that superset. I really, really like that. I think these are like basically your premier vertical pull and one of the premier like compound push exercises. Beautiful, beautiful. And I like the rep range 6 to 10. I think for 6 to 10. I think for a bench is excellent. Like it's kind of like starts you at the very kind of top end of strength work, and you can kind of progress up to a bit of volume and then come back down and do it again and again. Then we go to barbell curls, freezes 8 to 12. Only issue with this, I wish it was easy bar, or at least the option of an easy bar, because a lot of people find that their wrists get a bit scuffed from barbell curls. But once again, barbell curls are a fantastic bicep exercise, and I said 8 to 12 is a great rep range. Side bends, I'm not a side bend lover. I understand why people program them, because you can weight them really, like you can progress on them, but I don't know. Maybe it's just my own bias. I prefer a oblique exercise where you're moving through like a range of motion side to side to recruit that function of your obliques. But honestly, it's fine. It's totally fine. And it's a totally fine superset as well. Then we go to upright row, supersetted to calf, giant setted, I should say, to calf raises, giant setted to diamond push-ups. What do I think of that? Upright row, great exercise. Awesome side out exercise, and 10 to 15 I think is a good rep range. Some people can get a little bit of shoulder fuck around the upright row, but I think that's really overblown. It's one of those exercises. It's a little bit like a deadlift, where everyone's like, oh, I like blew out my back deadlift. And it's like, yeah, that's because you're probably just doing it like an idiot. So not a problem with that. That's a good exercise. Superset to calf raises makes sense. It's neither one of those are going to take it really out of you, so you can easily do the next one. Giant set to diamond push-ups. I think it depends what level of advancement you're at. Because then again, there's not that many people who can spam out a set of 30 diamond push-ups after doing incline bench. So that's probably fine. You'd probably find yourself fatiguing around, you know, between 10 and 20, which is probably perfect. And I like that giant set. I think it's a good giant set. None of those messes with the other ones. You may find you feel a little bit extra tired on your diamond push-ups after your upright rows, but like totally fine. And it's just, yeah, good way to get in and out of a gym a bit quicker. Then we move to the last day, day 4, which is front squats, 3 sets of 4 to 6. I'm not a big fan of front squats, not because they're bad. In fact, I think they're excellent. Just because they're not very accessible in a sense that, like I can't do, okay, this is going to sound real dickish, but like, I can't do it, and I've been training for years because I've never spent the time to develop a front rack. So I think that a lot of people can be limited by technique, or I mean, I can do front squats, but with like 40 kilos, you know what I mean? So I'd like it if that just said front squats or like maybe heel elevated squats, which I think does a similar vibe, really biases to quads. But to be fair, most people reading this will kind of know that, and like, if you train for even a little bit of time, you'll know, like, oh, I can't do front squats, I'm just going to swap that out for regular squats. So not a problem there. And 4 to 6, I think, is great. Strength work, no problem. Then we go to stiff leg deadlift, 2 to 3 sets. I guess he's just giving you, like, a little bit of an out in case you're one of those people, like myself, who gets absolutely cooked from stiff leg deadlift. So 2 to 3 sets is fantastic. And 10 reps, I think, is a great rep range. Or reps. I would like it to have a rep range, maybe 8 to 12, something like that, but totally fine. Then we go to barbell reverse lunges. I like reverse lunges. I think they're better than regular lunges. You get a lot more glutes. Yeah, no problem there. 10 to 20. Higher rep range. If you do a set of 20 reverse lunges, I would honestly say that rep range is maybe a smidgen too high because you have to do it on both sides. If you've done both sides for 20, you're going to be a pretty cooked cucumber. Maybe a cooked cucumber cardio-wise rather than a cooked cucumber like muscle-wise. And we want it to be in the muscle. So I would maybe bring that rep range down to like 10 to 15. And then we finish the day with a superset of those lorats, which I'm assuming once again is a forearm exercise to calf raises. Yeah, great. I think that superset works really, really well. Neither one of those, like, are going to gas you out or anything like that. You can just knock them out. What do I think of this program overall? First of all, I think the structure is great, upper, lower, upper, lower. I'm just trying to think, is there anything we're missing? We've got like kind of 2 hip hinges in the sense we've got our deficit pendlay rows, we've got our stiff leg deadlifts, we've got squats, and plat squats, we've got forearms, we've got abs. Maybe we're missing a bit of traps. He did a giant set on day 3. Maybe what you would do is on day 4 you also do a giant set and just giant set in some shrugs. We've got vertical pulling. Do we have much horizontal pulling? I think we've only got the 1 horizontal pull, which is our deficit pendlay row. So what I might do as well is I would toss in like a superset on one of the other days. Or maybe just at the end of day 1, I would just toss in maybe like some machine back work or something, just to give you a little bit more horizontal pulling. But that's really, really nitpicky. I think this is a really, really good program. I like the rep selection. I like the exercise selection mostly. And I like the structure. And I think, honestly, that's the most important thing is the structure of a program, because everything flows from there. And upper, low is just, like, it just works, you know. And I like he's got some abs. To be fair, now that I look at it, we could maybe do with 1 extra ab exercise as well, because I think we're only training like rectus abdominis, you know, like abs, just once. Let me just confirm that there. So we've got our GHD sit-ups on day 1, and then we've got our side bends. Yeah, so maybe what you could do is toss in some abs as well onto one of the other days, perhaps as a giant set to the. To be fair, there's not really space to superset it with anything, so maybe what you would do actually is at the end of day 4, you would add, like, say, should we say, I don't know, cannonball crunches or like some ab exercise, and you could superset that to traps. That could work. And then, of course, there's possibly always space in any program for more forearms, so you could toss in some forearms, particularly on some of the things you're not supersetting. Like, for example, you could superset like reverse curls to your front squats. They're not going to affect your front squats at all. Or actually, I take that back. They might affect your front squats. I don't know about how that would work. So maybe if assuming you're doing back squats like I would do, then you could superset forearm curls to that. To reverse curls to that, I should say. But honestly, those are real nitpicks. This is a really, really good program. Well structured, good exercise selection, good reps, good times. My boy Arms Enthusiast knows what he's doing. So yeah, thanks for watching, and have a good day.